If you're relocating to New York City and you started house hunting, you've probably run into two words that don't exist anywhere else in the country: co-op and condo. And here's the problem: pick the wrong one, and you can get rejected by a building board after months of searching, overpay in fees you didn't budget for. In this video, I'm breaking down exactly what a co-op and a condo actually are, the real differences that matter for relocators specifically, and which one makes more sense depending on your situation. If you're new to New York real estate, this is the one video that will save you from the most common and most expensive relocation mistake. Before we dive in, I'm a real estate agent here in New York City, and I work specifically with people relocating to the city, whether you're coming from another state, another country, or just moving across town for the first time. Every week, I talk to people in exactly this spot, confused about co-op boards, condo fees, and which one actually fits their situation. That's exactly what I help with. So, if you want a real conversation about your move, my contact information is right in the description below. Reach out anytime. No pressure. Let's get into it. Let's start with co-ops, because they're the one relocators are usually least familiar with. When you buy a co-op, you're not actually buying real property. You're buying shares in a corporation that owns the building, and those shares come with a proprietary lease, giving you the right to live in a specific unit. That structure is unique to New York, and it's a big reason co-ops make up such a large share of the city's housing stock, especially in Manhattan and Brownstone, Brooklyn. Because you're buying into a corporation, every purchase has to be approved by the building's board of directors, and that approval process is where a lot of relocators run into surprises. A condo is much closer to what most relocators already know from other cities. When you buy a condo, you're buying real property. You own your specific unit outright, plus a share of the building's common areas. Condos generally have a much lighter approval process. Most buildings only require a simple financial background check rather than a full board interview. Condos also tend to allow more flexibility: subletting, pied-à-terre, LLC, or trust purchases, which makes them a popular choice for relocators who aren't sure yet how long they'll stay in New York. This is the part that surprises relocators the most. Co-op boards can request extensive financial documentation: tax returns, bank statements, reference letters, and they require an in-person interview before approving your purchase. Boards can reject buyers without giving a reason, which is completely legal here. Some buildings also require higher down payments, sometimes 20 to 50%, and have strict rules around subletting, pets, or renovations. Condos, by contrast, typically only require proof you can pay. No interview, no board approval to actually purchase, though some do have a right of first refusal. If you're relocating and want a faster, more predictable closing process, that difference alone can steer your decision. On paper, co-ops are often cheaper per square foot than condos in the same neighborhood, but the full cost picture is more complicated. Co-ops charge monthly maintenance fees that typically include the building's underlying mortgage payment and property taxes, so that one number covers a lot. Condos charge common charges, which are usually lower, but then you pay property taxes separately on top of that. When relocators compare listings side by side without accounting for this, they often misjudge which option is actually more affordable for their budget. I always recommend running the full monthly cost, mortgage, fees, and taxes together before comparing a co-op to a condo. For relocators buying with a mortgage, financing can look different too. Co-op boards often set their own minimum down payment requirements, and some buildings restrict how much of the purchase price can be financed at all. Condos generally offer more financing flexibility and are usually easier to finance with lower down payments. On the investment side, condos tend to appreciate a bit more predictability and are easier to rent out or resell to a broader buyer pool, including international buyers, since they don't require board approval. Co-ops can still appreciate well, but resale can take longer because your buyer pool has to get approved by the same board you did. Let's cover what I get asked constantly. Can I buy a co-op if I'm relocating from another country? Some boards are stricter with international or self-employed buyers, so it's important to check building-specific requirements early. This is something I help relocators vet before they fall in love with a unit. Are condos always more expensive? Not necessarily. Condos often have a higher purchase price but lower ongoing fees, while co-ops can be the opposite. It depends on the building. Can I rent out my apartment later if my plans change? This is a big one for relocators who aren't 100% sure how long they'll stay in New York. Many co-ops restrict or limit subletting, sometimes only after you've lived there a certain number of years. Condos are almost always more flexible here, which makes them a common choice for people who want to keep their options open. Is one option just objectively better? No. It depends entirely on your timeline, your flexibility needs, and how you want to handle the approval process. Here's how I walk relocating clients through this decision. If you know you're staying long-term, you have straightforward finances, and you're comfortable with a more involved approval process, a co-op offers more value and often a stronger sense of building community. If you want speed, flexibility, easier financing, or you're not fully sure how long you'll be in New York, a condo is usually the safer fit. The right move is figuring this out before you start touring, not after you've already fallen for a unit and hit a wall with the board. If this helped clear up co-ops versus condos, take a look through the rest of this channel. I cover neighborhood breakdowns, relocation strategy, and everything you need to know about buying in New York City every week. And if you're actively planning your move, reach out using the contact information in the description below. I love to help you figure out what makes sense for your situation. See you in the next one.